This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Welcome to our show. Heartbeat Live. I'm your host, Ray Orosa. We'll be together for the next almost 1 hour talking about something which we are facing, and there's a lot of discussion going on regarding it. Wala na pong iba kung hindi ang appointing of barangay officials. Ang kasama ko dito who can talk about it because he was around when the barangays were formed by Marcos. Okay, mula nun. And he's been in politics ever since, although he does not occupy a public position at the moment. Dati siyang gobernador, miyembro ng parlamento, dating commissioner ng Bureau of Immigration. Wala na pong iba kung hindi si Ginoong Bono ADAZA. Welcome, Kuya Bono. Thank you for being here.
Well, Ray, good evening and good evening to our fellow countrymen.
Okay.
Nandito na naman tayo, ha?
Oo nga,
Citizen Bono lang, ha?
Citizen Bono. I often ask him here because sometimes he's got some good ideas. Sometimes he's got some really outrageous ideas. But I think it's good to begin to think out of the box.
The term should be controversial.
Controversial, okay. All right. But these are terms that some of the people use. They're fond of exaggerating anyway. Me, I enjoy it, and I enjoy the repartee between him and me.
I'm always a victim of exaggeration because I exaggerate myself sometimes.
Okay. So it's just something that is part of your arsenal to exaggerate.
Of course.
All right. Even things about yourself, I guess.
Yeah, most of the time.
All right. Pag-usapan natin itong mga barangay officials. How realistic is this? Kasi itong mga barangays, if you might recall a little bit of history, hindi ba na-form yan ang panahon pa ni Marcos?
Correct. During the time Marcos.
And the provisions there allow for the elections of the barangay officials.
Right.
Although there are some provisions there that are a little crazy.
Yeah, of course.
Now, politicians are not supposed to meddle, and they limit the time of campaigning.
Under Section 38 of Article 6, we're talking about that. It's non-partisan.
Supposedly.
As of now, there is no amendment of that provision.
In other words, hindi pwedeng nationalista ka or liberal
And
or
you cannot
PDP
file
laban.
a certificate of candidacy associated with any group, not just political party.
Not even party list.
Not even party list, not even as an NGO. You file your certificate of candidacy as an individual.
Okay.
Not belonging to any group.
And you have to swear to that.
Yeah, you have to share that under Section 38 of Article 6.
And if it's
of the
found out that
Omnibus
you
Election
belong to a particular party,
disqualified.
And what if you're elected already?
Disqualified nevertheless.
Okay, all right. In this election here, I know that many times, sa isang barangay, minsan 8-10 kandidato.
Tama.
Kasi
ngayon, may pera sa barangay.
Pagkatapos noon, ang mananalo, 10% lang ng botante sa isang barangay. Should we try to limit that and to say to have begin some kind of runoff election for the top 2?
As a matter of fact, I don't believe in elections, Ray. Insofar as the barangay is concerned. As a matter of fact, in my concept of what should be done in this country under federal and parliamentary system, we should not elect barangay chairman. They should just be appointed.
By whom?
Appointed by the governor of the state or the governor of the region. Should be all appointed. It's useless to elect them.
Why?
Because barangay chairman should have specific functions. Should have specific functions. And not elected. Some ignoramuses get elected. Yeah. As a matter of fact, as barangay chairman, they don't know their task. So better appointed so that they don't know. Why? They know what to do.
Do the congressmen that are elected know their task?
Most of them don't.
So they should also be appointed?
No, not really.
Because what's good for the boss is good for the gander. It's different.
In a change of system, I am an advocate of the federal and parliamentary. You know, institutions create the kind of leaders you want. In a parliamentary system, you create people who know their programs. Under the present system, no. They don't know the program of their party. They have no program. Their only program is a birthday program, Christmas program, but they don't have a program of government. That's the problem. But
that's because no party here has a program of government to begin with.
No, there are. I used to be a member of the National
I know, but that is observed
more observed by their lack of performance. Yes, I know. I've been nationalista once, and I had to shift to other parties because the guy in my province was the political kingpin is the architect of changing partners. Okay. So I had to go to the other side when he changed parties.
Okay, but ano ba proposal dito ni Presidente? That the President will appoint barangay officials?
Yeah, that's his proposal.
Okay, is that kind of speaking out of the President's frustrations that the LGUs are not responding?
That's his frustration because according to him, most of the barangay chairmen are involved in drugs. And if they're involved in drugs, if it's correct.
Ba't hindi na lang nahuli?
Kaya ang problema, hindi nahuli. Marami naman yan eh. Mayors, nasa lista, ganyan kapal ang lista. Governors, ganyan kakapal. Generals, ganyan kakapal.
Hindi na bali yun, pero sa barangay officials.
Yeah.
Yun ang tinutukoy natin ngayon.
Yeah, but they are not prosecuted. Right? That's the problem. According to him, there are so many barangay chairmen who are involved in drugs. Yun, if they cannot be prosecuted, this is one idea that I'll contribute to them without any charges. No?
Okay.
Ostracism.
How?
Ostracize these people. Like when my father is mayor of our town, you know how he did it? The culprits in our town, most of them are Catholics. So he talked with the priest. No, with the priest in our church. Do not allow these people to take communion because they have broken fundamental laws of the church. Don't allow them. You know, the approach of my father is very effective. All of these people were so ashamed, they could not go to church because they cannot take communion. Sometimes they go to the altar in the rail, and then the priest will just bypass them. So,
pahiyaan.
Yeah, pahiyain mo sila. It's a very important instrument. As far as the Grecian times, yan eh.
But I doubt if we can do it popularly through the church.
It can be done. If the local officials deserve some element of respect. The main problem are the local officials are also involved in graft and corruption, involved also in drugs. So,
kasi siguro ang prinsipyo dyan ngayon comes from Scripture. He who is without sin, cast the first stone.
Correct. Ang tinuturo nila, hindi lang yung gobernador, hindi lang yung mayor, up to the higher places in government.
Wow.
Yun ang problema natin.
Okay, then what are some of the practical difficulties of appointing barangay officials?
The difficulties is according to the COMELEC, that's where the difficulty lies, that he cannot appoint.
Now, never mind what the COMELEC says about what he can do, but some of the practical limitations that he will have to face when you want to appoint. I assume that he could.
Yeah.
Barangay officials.
To begin with, under Section 37 of Republic Act of the Omnibus Election Law, Chapter 6, he cannot appoint public officials because the succeeding provisions prohibit him. He's prohibited from appointing them. But if he consults the right lawyers for the right fees,
he might find a way to do it.
He will find the way to do it. If the others cannot do it, I'm not bragging. But if
and that's without doing violence to the law.
Without doing violence to the law. Of course.
Okay. Napaka-genius mo naman. Ikaw lang nakakaalam nun.
Well, that's what Angara tells me. When he was Senate President, he was Senate President. We were classmates and we were roommates. He was interviewed about me. You know, Mr. Senate President, sabi ng iba, na kaklase mo si former politician daw, former BONO, ADAZA. You know what was the statement that is in print? Lintek, he's a genius. That's what he said. I'm not the one saying I'm a genius. I'm just quoting Angara.
All right, then let's talk a little bit more about this whole situation. If the claim is that the barangay officials are, many of them, or some of them, are involved in the problem of drugs, let me ask you a question. What is the determinant as to whether there has been success in the drug fight?
Well, the determinant is that there are no effective results. You know, I'm talking to you about Davao City. This fixed Davao City. Congressman Tom Villarin of Akbayan, interviewed by one of the major TV stations here. I was listening to him for 1 hour. You know what he said? The illegal drug problem is persistent and continuing in Davao City for the past 20 years. Proof of that is that as of today, there are 13 drug users who have surrendered to the authorities. 3,000 drug users. So, I mean, the boast of this administration that Davao is drug-free is not true. Because it's in Davao inyo eh.
Ano ito? Game of shadows?
No, huh?
Game of shadows?
It is a game of shadows. And you know, in this country, the number one virtue of politician is pretense. The game of pretense. Most, maybe 90% of politicians in this country, except especially if he's traditional, he's a pretender. He pretends that he's honest, he's not. He pretends that he's not involved in drugs, he is involved in drugs.
Well, of course, you never admit it in public, do you?
Yeah, of course, about being involved in drugs, but many people involved that they are immoral. No less than the speaker is charged and he admits the immorality. And he says, who is not a lawyer in this country who does not have a girlfriend? If we do that, there will be no lawyers in the country. Imagine that.
You know, that statement of Speaker Alvarez really surprised me.
Yeah.
And I made to wonder, wow, how can this then be said? But that's, of course, because the example that has been set in the past about this,
no, in the present,
with a lot of order up to the president, is that
he's the president. The president admits that he has 2 wives and that women are just biology. What else can you do? The speaker is just an image of the president.
But I cannot begin to say, just because lahat ng tao, maraming tao nagnanakaw, lahat tayo magnakaw na lang.
Mayroong isang
kind of crazy morality.
Ray, one mayor that was convicted by the Sandigan for immorality, he said, why? All the other mayors are also immoral. You see, immorality has become the standard in this country. Hindi pwede yun.
Ang lumalaganap dito, isang bagay lang. Huwag ka pahuli.
Hindi tama yun. Ray, let me tell you, no? One of my greatest friends in the Jesuit community was former president of, the late president of Ateneo de Manila and Ateneo de Cagayan, now Xavier University. You know,
before you go ahead, before you explain,
yes,
we have to pause for a few reminders. We'll be right back.
Okay.